LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
The WNBA just got hit with a storm nobody saw coming. Caitlin Clark, already the league's biggest name, just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with the LPGA. And Aya Wilson, she's not taking it well. What should have been a celebration of women's sports crossing boundaries just turned into the messiest drama of the season. Wilson's reaction lit up social media like wildfire, and now fans are asking the real question. Is this about money, jealousy, or something way deeper? Because this isn't just about golf or basketball anymore. This is about power, fame, and who really controls women's sports in 2025. When the news broke that Caitlin Clark had inked a massive contract with the LPGA, the sports world went silent for a second. Then it exploded. This wasn't some quick photo shoot or a token endorsement appearance. This was a full partnership, blending basketball and golf under one unstoppable name. The deal reportedly runs through 2026 and includes cross-promotional events, media appearances, and a chain of brand collaborations with Nike Golf and Titleist. We're talking millions of dollars with marketing rights that stretch all the way into next season. Within hours, Clark's name was trending on every single platform. The LPGA, a league that hadn't seen this kind of mainstream buzz in years, was suddenly front-page news. For fans of women's sports, this felt like a win. A crossover moment. Female athletic excellence finally getting the spotlight it deserves. But inside the WNBA, the reaction was way more complicated. Caitlin had just done in one move what the entire league has been struggling to do for decades. She captured mainstream attention and corporate dollars at the same time. While supporters were cheering her genius, some players saw it differently. To them, it was another glaring reminder that the league's fame distribution is wildly uneven. Most fans were like, good for her, she earned it. But not everyone felt that way. And one familiar face in the league definitely wasn't happy. Enter Aya Wilson, two-time MVP, championship winner, the face of the Las Vegas Aces. For years, she's been respected as the most dominant player in the WNBA. Yet somehow, every headline about Caitlin Clark seems to overshadow everything Wilson's accomplished. So when the LPGA deal dropped, Aya's frustration finally boiled over. One cryptic tweet was all it took. So you can miss shots and get golf money now. That's it. That's all she posted. But it was enough to set the internet on fire. Now, I didn't mention Caitlin by name. She's too media trained for that. But she didn't have to. Within seconds, the replies flooded in. Just say Caitlin Clark and go. Because let's be real, who else could she be talking about? Within minutes, every sports blog and gossip outlet had a headline ready. Fans started calling her jealous, bitter, even petty. Others jumped to her defense, saying she had every right to feel overlooked. But the truth? It's somewhere in the middle. This wasn't just a tantrum. This was the sound of a superstar realizing the spotlight had shifted. And as the online war between fans exploded, one thing became crystal clear. Caitlin Clark's golf swing didn't just change her career. It shifted the entire power dynamic of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's name has become a trigger point for half the league. Every move she makes, every deal she signs, every photo she posts, somebody somewhere loses their mind over it. And this LPGA deal? It took things to a whole new level. Aya Wilson's tweet might have been short, but the ripple effect was massive. In less than 10 minutes, her comment became the biggest trending topic in women's sports. Screenshots flooded Twitter. Memes started flying. Fans dissected every word like it was a press conference. The problem wasn't just what she said. It was who everyone knew she was aiming at. The missed shots remark was clearly about Caitlin Clark, and pretending otherwise only made it worse. Wilson's defenders tried to play it off as sarcasm, a playful jab at the media's obsession with Clark. But her timing couldn't have been worse. The LPGA deal had just been announced. Clark was basking in positive headlines, and suddenly the narrative flipped to drama. To a lot of people, it looked like envy, an MVP throwing shade because someone else was winning outside the court. Behind the scenes, insiders say Wilson's frustration has been building for months. She's tired of seeing Clark dominate every conversation, even after winning back-to-back championships. She's the face of excellence in the WNBA. Yet every time she lifts a trophy, cameras rush to Clark's Instagram instead. That quiet resentment finally cracked, and one impulsive tweet gave the world a front-row seat to her breaking point. The backlash was immediate. Comment sections filled with jealous much, and Caitlin lives rent-free in her head. Even some fellow athletes unfollowed her for stirring up unnecessary drama. It wasn't just bad optics. It was a PR disaster. But beneath all the mockery, there's something deeply human about it. Aya isn't a villain. She's an athlete watching someone younger, less decorated, and newer steal the spotlight she fought years to build. That kind of pain doesn't vanish with trophies. And as Wilson learned the hard way, in today's digital age, one emotional tweet can rewrite your entire image overnight. While Aya Wilson's emotions spilled across social media, Caitlin Clark stayed silent. And that silence, deafening. No tweet, no press comment, not even a vague emoji. She didn't need to say a word because her reputation spoke for her. Clark's calm restraint contrasted sharply with Wilson's public frustration, and that difference only made the situation worse for Aya. Brands and fans praised Clark's composure, calling her classy, professional, the future of women's sports. This wasn't the first time Caitlin had faced backlash and chosen not to engage. She's mastered the art of letting noise fuel her fame. Every criticism turns into clicks. Every controversy turns into another wave of attention. And that's what makes her such a marketing powerhouse. Her silence wasn't weakness. It was strategy. She knows that in the modern sports landscape, every reaction gets magnified. Staying quiet keeps her above the chaos while everyone else looks petty. Behind closed doors, her team reportedly loved it. Sponsors thrive on stability, and Caitlin's ability to navigate drama without adding to it makes her the dream endorsement. While the WNBA fumbled opportunities to market its stars, the LPGA was already pushing her photos, commercials, and press appearances within hours of the deal announcement. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One league was arguing online. The other was cashing in on calm professionalism. Fans noticed too. Memes comparing the two stars flooded social media. Aya tweeting in frustration while Caitlin smiled on the golf course. The more Wilson ranted, the bigger Clark's brand seemed to grow. It was almost poetic. The louder Aya got, the more powerful Caitlin became by staying silent. Clark didn't just win the PR battle. She cemented her image as the ultimate professional in a league drowning in noise. And that quiet confidence was about to pay off even more. As the drama unfolded, fans started digging deeper into why Aya Wilson reacted the way she did. It wasn't just about a tweet or one endorsement. It was years of pent-up frustration coming to the surface. Wilson had done everything right. She dominated the court, won multiple MVPs, led her team to championships, and became the standard of excellence in the WNBA. Yet, somehow, the spotlight always seemed to land on Caitlin Clark, even when Clark wasn't playing. That imbalance isn't imaginary. It's measurable. Caitlin Clark's games break viewership records. Her jersey sales skyrocket. Her name trends daily across every platform. She's become more than a player. She's a cultural moment. The WNBA desperately needed that kind of visibility. But for veterans like Aya, it's a painful reminder that popularity doesn't always follow performance. The league is finally thriving, just not in a way that feels equal. Wilson's frustration taps into something many athletes experience, the unfair balance between talent and attention. It's the same dynamic we saw when Serena Williams first dominated tennis, or when LeBron James became the NBA's marketing face, while older stars faded into the background. Success in today's sports world isn't just about stats. It's about stories, followers, and global appeal. And that's where Clark wins without even trying. What makes this harder for Aya is the perception battle. Every emotional reaction risks being labeled bitter or jealous, especially when compared to Clark's calm professionalism. Wilson's passion, once her greatest strength, suddenly became her weakness online. But beneath the noise, the truth is painful and human. Aya Wilson isn't angry at Caitlin Clark. She's angry at a system that rewards visibility over longevity. Yet in the world of modern sports, perception is power. And Caitlin has mastered that power better than anyone, turning every headline into another chapter of her unstoppable rise. While fans debated whether Aya Wilson's anger was justified, the people counting the dollars had already made up their minds. From a business standpoint, Caitlin Clark is every brand's dream. She sells out arenas, moves merchandise, and brings in viewers who never cared about women's basketball before. That's why her LPGA contract wasn't just about golf. It was a marketing blueprint. Nike, Titleist, and the LPGA all saw the same thing, an athlete whose name equals money. The deal reportedly ranges between $6 to $8 million over 2 years and includes commercials and appearances designed to merge basketball fans with golf audiences. It's smart business. The LPGA gets exposure to a new market, while Clark gets another platform to expand her brand. Everyone wins except for those left watching from the sidelines. For Aya Wilson and many WNBA veterans, this was salt in the wound. They've spent years pushing the league into the mainstream, only to see Clark do it in months. What took a generation to build, she amplified overnight. But that's not Clark's fault. It's timing, marketing, and momentum. She came into the league during the perfect social media era, and her brand skyrocketed before she even played her first professional game. Sponsors don't invest in fairness. They invest in visibility. And right now, no one is more visible than Caitlin Clark. Every company that partners with her isn't just buying talent. They're buying influence, engagement, and an entire fan movement. That's what drives IAS frustration at its core. It's not just about envy. It's about economics. She's realizing that in modern sports, the scoreboard doesn't always decide who wins. The algorithm does. And as long as Caitlin Clark remains the face of clicks, trends, and sold-out tickets, she's going to keep cashing checks while everyone else argues online. Once the tweet exploded, the media wasted no time fanning the flames. Every outlet from ESPN to TMZ dissected the tension like it was a championship game. Headlines screamed about jealousy, bias, and betrayal, turning what could have been a simple misunderstanding into a nationwide debate. Sports talk shows replayed Wilson's tweet on loop, with analysts taking sides. Some defended her as speaking truth to favoritism. Others accused her of being out of touch with modern fame. And then came the fans on social media. The battle lines were drawn. Clark supporters flooded timelines with clips of her record-breaking games, arguing that she'd earned every deal she got. Wilson's loyalists fired back, saying the league had always favored the marketable face over the proven champion. What started as one impulsive post quickly became a war about race, recognition, and respect in women's sports. Journalists dug deeper, comparing endorsement histories and salary gaps between WNBA stars. The findings were hard to ignore. Clark's off-court income already dwarfed that of her peers. For the media, that contrast made the story irresistible. It wasn't just Caitlin versus Aya anymore. It was a reflection of a league divided by image and opportunity. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark kept doing what she does best, letting the world talk while she kept winning. The LPGA capitalized on the buzz, pushing more press releases, more photos, more coverage. Every article mentioning IAS frustration just brought more eyes to Clark's name. Ironically, the controversy that was meant to criticize her only made her bigger. The WNBA had hoped for unity during its growth spurt, but the media storm exposed its fractures. And in that chaos, Caitlin Clark became more than an athlete. She became the headline everyone wanted to own. By the time the dust settled, one thing was undeniable. Caitlin Clark had once again changed the game. What started as an endorsement deal with the LPGA had become a cultural turning point for women's sports. Every brand, every league, every media outlet saw the power of one athlete's influence. And suddenly, crossover deals didn't seem so unusual. The WNBA may have been slow to act, but Clark showed the world what was possible when star power meets smart marketing. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson was left reflecting on the fallout. Her words had sparked a firestorm she never fully intended. But in that chaos came a wake-up call. The old playbook for fame no longer worked. Dominating on the court wasn't enough anymore. Fans wanted stories, relatability, and charisma that transcended the game. Clark understood that instinctively, while many others were still playing catch-up. In the end, this wasn't just a feud between two athletes. It was a mirror of how modern fame works. Aya Wilson's frustration came from years of dominance with limited reward, while Caitlin Clark's rise showed how visibility can eclipse legacy. The LPGA deal didn't just expand Clark's empire, it exposed the WNBA's growing divide between talent and attention. One chose emotion, the other silence. And silence won, because in a world driven by clicks, Caitlin Clark proved that the most powerful statement isn't shouted online. It's made quietly through success that speaks for itself.